Hi, everyone. This is Anna, one of the Digital Innovation Specialists at Mid-Continent Public Library. Today, we are going to look at how we can organize photos on a Samsung device using their Gallery and My Files apps. If you are an Apple user or an Android user that does not have a Samsung device, check the MCPL MO YouTube channel to find a video about organizing your photos on those devices. Organizing photos is not just about putting them into folders and forgetting about them. The first step is to organize the images into folders that make sense for you. And then, moving forward, you do want to continue maintenance of these folders and the images to keep them organized and to stop them from becoming overwhelming. We're going to look at some practical steps for managing our photo collection directly on our device. The first thing that you should do is locate all of your photos. So there may be multiple apps that are currently housing your digital photos. So you'll want to look in multiple places. Samsung's Gallery app may be the app that your device saves photos to by default, but there could be others. For example, Android devices, which include Samsung devices, often have Google Photos installed, so you may have photos there. Photos can also be saved to any cloud storage apps, which could include Samsung's My Files app, or it could be Google Drive or Dropbox, just to name a few options. My suggestion would be to go through any app where you think you've seen your photos and make a list of any of the apps where you do find photos. Then you're going to look at these apps and are you seeing the same photos in multiple places? That can take up a lot of storage space. So that is one of the things we want to identify. And after you've figured out where your photos are, you're going to want to determine where you want all your photos to live. In today's video, we're going to use the Gallery app because it is pre-installed on Samsung devices, and it may already be the default Photos app if you do have a Samsung device. You can choose another app if you find there is something that suits you better. Just know that the organization steps are going to be very similar or the same. You may just be looking in a different area for the same options. We will also look at how to send a photo from one app to another in a few minutes. But first, let's just open the Gallery app. So find the icon on your home screen and tap to open it. If you already have some photos saved, this is how your app is going to display. It's going to show all of your photos. And already I can see that the app is helping us to start organizing by grouping the images by date. This date could be the date that the photo was taken, if it is a photo you've taken yourself, or it may be the date you added the photo to your Gallery app. In this case, it may be something that you downloaded from the internet and you don't have the date it was taken, but it will save based on the date that you added it to the app. In the upper right corner of my screen, I do have a few options. The cloud icon will take me to my Samsung Cloud account, which is connected to the My Files app on the device. And this is an account that you may have set up when you first started using your device. The magnifying glass icon is an option to search my images, and then the 3-dot icon indicates that there's a menu there. So when I tap that icon, I can see that I have options to edit. So this is where I can select multiple images to create something like a collage. I can also share the image or multiple images. I can delete them, or I can access even another more menu with even more options. So this menu is a great place to select multiple images and perform an action on all of them at the same time. If I start to select some images but then decide not to continue with that, I can use the back arrow on the right side of my menu bar that runs along the bottom of my screen in order to get out of that select feature. I can also open a menu on the left side of my screen by tapping this 3-line icon in the upper left corner. And from here, I can access many of the organizational features that are built into the app. So right now, I'm looking at the Pictures page, and the Pictures page is going to show me all of the images and videos I have saved to the app. I can then tap Albums to see any albums that are already created. I can select an album from the main area or as an option from the drop-down menu that has appeared on that left side menu. I can also create new albums from this page by tapping the plus sign in the upper right area of the page. When I tap the plus sign, I have options to create an album. I can create an auto-updating album, or I can group multiple albums together into kind of like a folder for another layer of organization. So I'm going to tap Album, and then I will want to give it a name and then tap Create. And from here, I need to select some pictures. And at the bottom of the screen, I have options to select from pictures or full albums. When I'm selecting from the Pictures tab, I can select a photo individually, or I can tap next to the date to select all of the images taken that day. I can also tap and hold as I drag my finger across multiple images to select them that way. And once I've selected the images I want, I'm going to tap Done in the upper right corner. Now I'm being asked if I want to move the images or copy them into this new album. If I choose Copy to Album, a copy of the image or images will be added to the album that I select. If I choose Move to Album, it will be like cutting and pasting from one album to another. No matter which option I pick, all of the photos are going to remain displaying on that Pictures page that we started on. Stories, the next option, the app says that they are curated collections automatically made from your pictures and videos. So basically, the app will create these stories for you. The videos option will show you only video files that have been saved to the gallery app. Favorites will show you anything that you have marked as a favorite. So we'll see how to do that in a minute. The recent option is going to show you any recently added items. And then suggestions says it will suggest ways to improve the look of your pictures and free up space. The locations option is going to show you images grouped by location. Locations can be added as metadata to your image when you take a photo if you have location services enabled on your device when you're taking the photo with it. The gallery app also will give you the option to add or edit a location on your images. So that would mean adding the location after the fact through this app. Shared albums are going to be either albums that someone has shared with you or albums that you have created and shared with others. And then the trash option is at the bottom. Images stay in the trash folder for 30 days by default. And you can see here that the days remaining for each image is listed on the image thumbnail. So if you do accidentally delete something, you do have some time to come here and recover that item. If you are really trying to free up space on your device, you can empty the trash folder by tapping the 3-dot menu icon in the upper right corner, and then you'll tap empty. And that will delete the images permanently. You won't be able to get them back at that point. Now I'm going to go back to the pictures page, and I am going to tap this first image. When an image is opened, I do have a menu of options in the upper right corner of my screen. So if I tap on the heart icon, that's how I can favorite the image. The pencil icon is how I can access photo editing tools. And then I have options to share or delete. The icon that kind of looks like a circle surrounding a triangle, this is how I can cast the image to another device. And the icon that looks like an eye will open the photo with Bixby Vision, which is an app that can be downloaded as an accessibility feature on Android devices. Then the 3-dot icon gives me another menu where I can tap to see details about the image. I can add a portrait effect to the image, so if there are people in the image, you might want to try that. I can copy the image to my clipboard, set it as a wallpaper for my device, move it to a secure folder, or go to options to print it. So it looks like I cannot create or add an image to an album from this view, which is a little surprising. I would need to go back to the All Photos view on the Pictures page, and then if I tap the More menu, I can choose Edit or Select All. And then once I have selected at least one image, I can get those options at the bottom of the page. And tapping the More menu icon, I can copy or move the images to an album. I can add the image to a shared album. I can add a tag. And this is also where I can edit the location as well as the date and time. So if I choose Copy to Album, I do have the option to select one of my albums, or I can tap Create and I can make a new album from here. I can also access settings options from the left side menu by tapping the gear icon at the top of the list. Here I have the option to sync with OneDrive. OneDrive is a Microsoft cloud storage product. So if you have a Microsoft account, you can do some syncing of your photos with that account. I can also toggle on or off the autoplay motion photos. So if you've ever seen those live photos where you take a photo but it moves for a couple seconds, this option would turn that off or on. Some people don't like the motion unexpectedly, so turning that off would mean that you'd have to tap on the image to actually see it play the live image. I can also choose a service to connect for the Stories page. And I can also merge albums if they have the same name, or I can turn that option off. And then if I make multiple albums with the same name, they would still show up as separate albums. I can also decide if I want notifications about shared albums. It looks like I can also toggle off the option to save items in the trash for 30 days. So if I do toggle this off, when I delete something, it would just be gone. So there wouldn't be that 30-day grace period. So that's something to keep in mind. From this page, I can choose a lot of my app options from just within the app itself. The next step in organizing our photos is going to be to save all of our photos to this designated gallery app. So now I am going to go back to my home screen and find Dropbox in my app list. I'm just choosing Dropbox because it is a cloud storage service where you can save images. And here I can see that I do have some photos saved to this cloud storage account. To save a photo to the gallery, I'm just going to tap on it, and I should see an option to share. So I'll tap share, and I want to export a copy of the photo. So I'll tap that option, and then I'm going to tap save image. This is going to bring up my downloads folder, which shows me things that I have downloaded to my device. And I'm going to tap save down in the bottom right corner of the downloads page. Now, if I navigate back to my gallery app, I can see I now have 2 copies of the image that I just saved in my gallery. One was already in there. I just saved a new copy there as well. In practice, if a photo is already in your gallery app, you probably don't need to take the time to save it there again. So this is just an example of the steps, but really you'd be fine to just delete that photo from the other app. And then I'm going to repeat this process for all of the photos I want to save. And after I've saved a copy to the gallery, I can delete it from the Dropbox app. You can delete each individual photo as you go along, or if you have enough storage space, you can move copies of all of the photos to the gallery app and then delete them all at once from the Dropbox app. You also do have the option to select multiple files in Dropbox so that you don't have to move them one at a time. To check that the photos are being saved to the cloud, I'm now going to open the My Files app, which is the icon with the folder on it. And from here, if I tap Images, I can see what has been saved. These images display in the gallery app, and they are synced using cloud storage provided by Samsung and tied to my Samsung account. This has been an overview of how to organize photos on a Samsung device using the Gallery app. Thanks for watching. That's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure you let us know by following our MCPL 360 page on Facebook and our MCPL MO channel on YouTube. We premiere new videos every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. And if you missed the live event, you can always find all of our videos on YouTube on one of our many technology-related playlists on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you again next time.